The UC Management Group is an organization supporting the UC community through educational series and discussion guided by experts. We are a growing not-for-profit group of members working for-profit companies, adding insight, content, and expertise for all to review. Today's speaker is Kerry, Shih, founder and CEO of Servera, Inc. Kerry will discuss the keys to a successful UC deployment. Welcome, Kerry.
Thank you, Servera. Thank you for that introduction. This should be about 20 minutes of me reviewing the key issues of deploying a successful UC solution, as well as what the IT management issues of adopting and operating it on an ongoing basis. Just to frame unified communications and its impact is to understand that unified communications is really an integration for the first time of all of the various solutions, from instant messaging and voicemail, including all the email and calendaring features of, say, your Outlook and Exchange experience, tightly integrating that with presence and voice over IP telephony, video conferencing. And the power is really twofold. One is about productivity gain in terms of day-to-day use, in terms of finding people, as well as being able to collaborate at a moment's notice. And then also the cost savings that are coming from the reduction of vendors, as well as the simplification of management. The biggest thing in terms of understanding UC before we talk about how to deploy it and what some of the issues are is to know that simple things like presence and instant messaging and calendaring, things we use every day, being able to find a colleague right now to be able to answer questions. A second major one is the travel and training costs in total. So you're really talking about video conferencing, peer-to-peer video conferencing, and of course web conferencing like we're using right now are powerful ways to stay at your desk and add more productivity and less travel costs. Most of the studies we've seen from Microsoft, Cisco, Gartner, etc., talk about 30 minutes per day per user back in terms of productivity. These are, of course, soft costs, but I think UC is best positioned as something that's got terrific productivity gains as a first-order message. And then the second is on an economic justification. This is really about eliminating many different vendors and stop paying maintenance on legacy phone systems. Again, a lot of different opinions coming out of such concepts, but this is a lot of what we see from the field. What sort of forms of communication do your team rely on? And a simple survey of this is really going to bring up a slew of things, all the way from your BlackBerry and iPhone, all the way to your Outlook and your day-to-day usage there. And then if you sum up the costs of your voice bridge technology and your WebEx account, you really start getting an understanding of what kind of cost it takes for an IT group to enable collaboration. The other things to consider are really travel guidelines and how to reduce those costs. What are IT's thoughts on how to collaborate and share files in a way that doesn't, say, use exposed or unsecure technologies? And there's just a lot of basic things like the expiration of legacy phone systems, as well as issues as simple as trying to get unified tool sets for simplified management. I think if there's one slide to help people understand unified communications and what the management issues will be, which is what we're going to get into today, is that it's going to run as well as your environment does. And so offering up these UC benefits to end users requires certainly IPVXs, messaging servers, voice bridges. There's a whole set of new technologies just there. But I think what people need to understand is it's going to run as well as the infrastructure it depends on. And so now you're talking about off-site clouds, private networking, all of the network devices themselves. And it's certainly going to span many, many vendors. And I think the starting point is really a discussion about what are these needs, what kind of management platforms and people and processes are going to be required to not only have a successful deployment, but then be able to have that run on a 5-9 basis going forward. And what we call the 3 Ps is really the good point to start asking questions. You think about all these dependencies, you think about how unified communication sprawls across the environment, and you got to think, how are we going to measure and monitor quality of experience? So understand what the end user benefits, their usage, and what their quality you're going is. Then be able to manage the network infrastructure health, its performance, any problems that can come out of there. And then lastly, the servers that are involved in enabling this collaboration, whether it be link or voice phone systems, whatever the solution may be. Platforms are clearly a major leg of the stool when it comes to how things are going to be managed. The next thing is the process itself. So if you take a standard IT lifecycle of being able to gather and monitor, troubleshoot, be able to respond and be reactive to the UC environment, these are the IT run book, the sort of learning from all the failures of everyone else. Whether you decide to roll this out yourself or whether you decide to be assisted by a partner or an integrator, I would definitely ask them what are the platforms that they use, what is the process that they have in terms of deploying a UC environment as well as being able to operate it on an ongoing basis. And then the third part is the people equation, and there's a growing set of knowledge and talent and experience within the technicians to be able to deploy this. But the next good question is, is this something we're going to do ourselves, or is this something that we're going to require a service provider or an integrator? I think the first step to successful deployment, after you've gone through some of these questions of what are the collaboration tools we have, what are the ones we need, evaluating vendors, etc., is really getting an understanding of your own environment. That includes doing a readiness assessment that would be able to help you understand what does your network support today in terms of being able to do voice and video collaboration, as well as what are the baseline of applications running in your environment. And let's face it, most IT groups have not run a real-time streaming set of applications like unified communications. Most of the applications that we all run are quite best effort in their nature. So a good readiness assessment would synthetically generate calls on your network, be able to grade and serve you up the reports that tell you how a UC rollout would work. It should also measure your bandwidth and error rates on your network interfaces, the capacity of your environment, as well as be able to understand what competing for bandwidth and applications. The next sort of stage is after deployment, it's all about controlling change, getting to and beyond. After it's been put in place, having a vigilant monitor in place when I see groups fail. And what we mean by this is now that we've got automation in place, what people, what parts of the staff have the capacity and the skill set to be able to fix these issues? Once we have the alerts, we understand where problems are, what set of teams have a real-world example where being able to drill down and see, pinpoint an issue within a haystack. And that haystack is the network in total. Obviously, it's a very simple example. As you think of your own environment, definitely think after deployment, who has documented the processes? Who is going to be responding to these issues, and do they have everything they need? In terms of ongoing quality monitoring and performance, these are some samples of reports from our system where you want to be monitoring end user quality for sure. This is something that's usually measured in delay, packet jitter, packet loss, and MOS scores, if you've heard of them. UC is just one application that's on the desktop of an IT group. They're going to be running out many things and many changes. So having a good process to reserve and understand quality on an ongoing basis is absolutely key. Some of those measurements, you could imagine doing it across from site to site, so you understand the quality experience as it's traversing your MPLS network. You also can get it on the LAN, so definitely ask questions about how to get very granular statistics on each of the endpoints, so that if you get a call to the help desk, you've got the tools in place to be able to objectively understand that it is a problem, and then, as we talked about with correlations, be able to fix it from there. Getting closer to the end of this, I would say at the highest level, when you think about management strategy. And one is, do I want a partner to lead me through a deployment and then augment my team to manage it on an ongoing basis? Or am I more of a do-it-myself sort of environment? The benefits, very fast time to market. It might cost you a little bit more in terms of paying another group to do it, but at least you're not learning on the job, and you're likely to have a very good experience as long as they've got the 3 Ps in place for you. Now, on a do-it-yourself strategy, it's more about having your internal staff execute this, and I highly recommend you still have partners guide you on the deployment, train you on the management platforms, and train you as well on what the process is to manage problems, how to respond to them. And really, a good partner should offer you both strategies, one where they lead and you follow, and another where you lead and they follow. But in both cases, you're really picking a partner that should be bringing this intelligence to bear so that you can take advantage of it. And then, for most end customers, I recommend picking a partner who can also be your level 3 plus partner, because no matter who your vendor is, you do not want to be in a real-time issue and have to call 1-800 whatever your vendor is. These partners should have very good expertise in helping you, and it will really save the day. So I think at the highest level, there's a question of, as we roll this out, should this be something we have a partner who augments us, or that we lead and we learn from that partner? The keys to successful UC deployment: understanding that UC depends on your environment. It's going to be highly integrated, and it's really going to sprawl and touch the majority of the key IT components in an environment. As such, the risks are quite high in terms of this is something you can't run without a management process or without a good dedicated team to be able to do it. We talked about platforms and what some of those capabilities should be, taking you through the life cycle. I can't stress enough the process side. If you are going to learn on the job, if you will, if you're going to roll it out yourself and try to just brute force through it, I would definitely at least talk to partners, interview them on what issues they're finding in the field, and I think you might find it's non-trivial and something that is worth the dollars in terms of an advanced maintenance agreement or managed service contract. And then on the people front, if you are picking a partner, I still think your people should be really watching them, learning them, and get cross-training, because you never know where you might want to take it. You might want to have the partner do more work or have the partner do less work, but you definitely want to have and be integrated with them throughout the process. The cycle that seems to be the sort of biggest components to having a success are do a readiness assessment, have a group generate voice and video traffic on your network, have them look at the physical health of your network devices, less about bandwidth and more about how much load they can take. Look at the deployment process and look what's deployed in terms of controlling change. Workflows and the quality and performance management are absolutely needed as a way to help you understand how your environment's going on an ongoing basis. And in terms of a management strategy, early on you want to decide, is this going to be partner-led, or am I more of a do-it-ourselves type group? We want you to join the UC management group. It's free, and there's some good dialogue and posts from experts. It's a growing group, and you can either join from UC management group or LinkedIn for a demonstration, or want to learn more about what we've seen in the world and the management issues and how our solution might help you. Please contact me or visit our site. And if you want a copy of this presentation or just want to communicate in general with me, my contact information is